arrived in Trieste in 2003, and I found the association almost immediately because I arrived in June, and I think by August I was already working here. So I was a teacher in America, so I was looking, and I was a French teacher there, and I was just looking to teach English here. And so I found it right away. I started teaching, and when I wasn't teaching, I started volunteering just because I liked being there. We were at the other place, we were in Via Roma then, and it was a really dark place, but a really beautiful library. And so I was just reading all the time. It was kind of an escape because I didn't speak Italian yet, and I was working on it, but it was tiring to work on that. So I just went to the association, spent a lot of time in the library, reading, and then I just started helping out where I could, like even at the front desk. I wanted to learn how things were going, and I just liked being around other Americans and anybody else who was around, because it was kind of it wasn't bustling the way it got to be here, but in recent years, but there were still interesting people coming in and out, and the consulate was there. That was kind of interesting, on the same floor with us. So we kind of made friends. It became kind of a place to be social. I left for a little while, and I came back. When I came back, Denise was here, so that was different. And then I became director. The association was always a place that was really special to me, and I wanted to be part of it, and I wanted it to survive, and it was going through a difficult period, and I wanted to be one of the people to help make it survive. I didn't know if it would work or not, but and then of course we were surrounded by just really special people, friends who helped us do that, and then we were able to experiment a lot because it was a volunteer-run association. I mean, I was getting paid as a teacher, but as volunteers, we were just really there because we wanted to be. And it was a place where we could create programs that appealed to us personally. So the Children's Corner, happened when, we started thinking, we've got kids and they're spending a lot of time here too. Let's give them something to do. The association has always been made up of groups of friends, basically. And so when Leonardo was the president and, Davide was with us and everybody, we were all just a group of friends trying to do the right thing, trying to make the association a better place, trying to create a community. And so all of these sort of steps, these progressive steps, were very just natural. So, and then I think I became president this year, but I feel like not much has changed as far as my dedication to the place. It's always been the same, basically. But
I started out as a volunteer. Probably I came in to renew my membership. I'm not sure. And Elizabeth said, hey, why don't you help me? Would you be interested in helping out with the American Corner in the library? And I said, okay. Because at that point I had my children at school. So I started out renewing magazine subscriptions, I think. And with that, it became more and more, and adding the books to a digital catalog. And then eventually Elizabeth asked Karoline and I to take over the association. So I took over as American Corner, which was separate from the association because we're under the U.S. government, the State Department. And Karoline took over the part with the association, with the teaching and the films and everything that's just for members.
Right, and then Janine came in as part of the just getting the children's program together. And that, so it was basically the three of us.
Well, the American Corner is public diplomacy. We have pillars that we're supposed to promote, like English language learning and American experiences and promoting study in the U.S., etc. And we've done most of these pretty well. We started out a little slow, but I think we've made up for it in lost time. We're pretty active. At a certain point, we had 62 volunteers
at
one time.
But it was like for a long period. People were coming and going because, when you volunteer here, not everybody's a long-term volunteer like her, but people might come for a few months or while they're here studying, or people come and go, especially students and things. Usually it's a place that's just so full of activity, and different types of activities, because when you have that many volunteers, you can also appeal to every different type of person. So we had programs that were happening in the morning, some in the evening. We had younger people, we had retired people, expats, Italians, or so teenagers, something for everybody.
Yeah.
I think the association has always been that. I think it got to be more of that over the last 10 years or so. I think it's always been an important place in Trieste. I think we have people, we've taught the grandchildren, the parents, and the grandparents. So it's a place it's a historic sort of part of Trieste because of the nostalgia that Trieste has for when the Americans were here after the war. But I think in later years, so there's no doubt that people who've lived in Trieste for a long time know that the association has had an impact on Trieste. It's always been community driven. It's always been a place where people could go and speak English, learn English, read English, and learn more about American culture. So it's always been that. Trieste is famous because it's always been an inclusive place. Okay, it's always accepted people of different religions. We've got the biggest synagogue, I think, in Europe here. We've got lots of different. We've got mosques here. We've got Protestant churches. We've got Catholic churches. So it's always been a place that's accepted people from different countries. Even we've got a large Serbian population. We've got Albania, etc. So I think in the last few years, as we've had an influx of refugees from other countries, I think that was an opportunity for us to offer programs for English for refugees, but then widen it to other things. And what I felt that we could do as in our little way, I suppose, is by offering free programs to people who are just looking for a better life, looking for a chance, and opening up our doors to these people and creating relationships with them, because we really made a lot of important friendships in these classes that we did. But we also felt that we were sort of a role model for other people in Trieste to say, the refugees are coming in, you may not know them, that you might not speak the same language as them, but we're friends with them, you're friends with us, so you guys can be friends too. These are the things that we care about. We care about people, we care about being a place that anybody can come to and feel accepted and feel comfortable and feel safe. And so I think I'm really proud of what we do. So I think that's always been the role of the association, but even more so, with this in the last, let's say, 5 years, it's become even more important, because there was a moment where Trieste went from a place that was really tolerant to a place that wasn't anymore. Now I think we've kind of balanced it back again, but I'm proud that in the time when the political landscape was changing, both abroad and here, we didn't change our stance, and I think we became even more inclusive, and that's something that I'm very, very proud of, or I think that I hope will be a legacy that we continue into the future.
And when some people, either the refugees or teenagers, come here, they love to come here. And I had one woman from Venezuela who would come. She was doing English classes with us, and then later she was working on our women's project with Project 28. And she said, "I feel at home here." She said it in English. So it makes you feel really good.
Even when we went online, I think we were able to see that as an opportunity to kind of up our game a little bit too, and kind of rethink how we were doing things. And so I really feel proud also of what we accomplished, even in times where people were struggling. We were able to, do something positive, something new and innovative. So I feel like that's something that people have always appreciated us for, that we're always trying to, we're always trying to get better,
There's always an innovation, and I think really with this COVID situation, we have gone to a different level.
Yeah.
Because I think from now on, there will be people who don't even want to come down here and take an English class, especially in the winter. I want to improve my English, but I don't want to go down there in the winter.
Right.
I just do it at home.
And it's also been a way for us to reach out to people outside of Trieste, because we should be covering our whole region, right? That's what our name is, FVG, right? So I love the idea that now, we can do courses with people in Rome, we can do in other places. So I love the idea that we can have a bigger impact outside of our city. I think that's what's really special about now. And I think we changed a lot of people's ideas about what you can do online. This place is bigger than us, and I think that is something that every year becomes more and more apparent, is that you hear these stories about even students who are with us, and when you ask them why you're with us, because my dad was here in the 70s, like the association, the American Guard, it's bigger than all of us. And I think that's what makes it special. That's what makes us want to spend time together and create new things. So it's a place also where you can't lose. You can't make a mistake because there's no rules. We just make them up as we go along. And I think that's given a lot of us creative freedom. It's allowed us to do a million things that we wouldn't be able to do in any other workplace or any other space. And so I think that is something that we want to celebrate all the time. The fact that it's just so much bigger than the sum of our parts.